Thanks, everyone. Great to meet you. I'll have the pleasure for the next 50 minutes to give you some tech alpha that I hope you're going to appreciate. So I'm going to talk to you about the world computer and the new paradigm for AI. And no, I'm not going to talk about AI meme coins. I'm not going to talk about AI agents that actually could better run on centralized servers. I'm going to talk to you about something that is really important for the intersection of the internet and AI in particular. So, before I start, quick words about DFINITY. DFINITY is the main contributor to the Internet Computer Protocol. We've been called multiple times the NASA of decentralization because we have a very scientific and first principle approach. We have the largest R&D team in Web3, headquartered in Zurich, offices in the US, Asia, and the Middle East. ICP, the Internet Computer Protocol's very early mission was to make the internet a world computer, a true world computer. And bear with me for a few minutes. I will not get too technical, but I'm going to walk you through the tech stack that actually is the world computer, and then you will have a good insight into why a normal blockchain would fail at really becoming a world computer. So, number one, our network runs on sovereign hardware. It runs on 1,500 sovereign nodes in probably 130 data centers across the world. And there were some key design decisions that we took in order to ensure a true world computer can actually scale. Number one is reverse gas fee. You all probably been in a situation where you had the annoyance of doing some Ethereum transactions or some DeFi applications, and then all of a sudden you ran out of gas, right? So we believe if you want to really scale something in the web, you need to ensure that the costs of running things are not put on the user, but actually we use a traditional Web 2 model where developers pay for computing cycles. Number two is ICP is officially ranked by ChainSpect the fastest blockchain in the industry, finality of a second and significant high throughput, 200,000. And here comes the main part. The main difference between the Internet Computer and other blockchains, and this is why it's going to get interesting when I come to the AI part, is that you can run a full stack of compute on a blockchain infrastructure. Full stack of compute means front end, back end, data, everything stored on chain. And this is super important if you talk about decentralized AI, that you actually have such a compute environment, because otherwise the only thing we're seeing in AI and the intersection of Web3 is incentives layers or orchestration layers orchestrating still centralized hardware. On top of that, we've built a DAO functionality, so every app that is running on the Internet Computer, and for that matter also every AI that's deployed on the Internet Computer, can automatically be turned into a DAO, into a user-owned or community-owned application. And just for a reference point, today we have over 700 apps being built on the Internet Computer. The next layer on top of that is the identification. So we have a very seamless identification, a very Web 2 kind of identification, because you know the hustle with seed phrases, right? So this is a very seamless passkey identification system where you just use your face or your fingerprint or whatever you choose to log into your applications and into your wallet. On top of that, we have something which most of you might know the Internet Computer for, which is called Chain Fusion technology, which is a protocol level integration with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, and soon with other chains that allows the Internet Computer to read and write directly on these chains. Hence, you can use this technology even if you're working in other ecosystems. And today, actually, Bitcoin builders are trusting ICP. We are the largest ecosystem that is helping Bitcoin to build Bitcoin Web3 and Bitcoin DeFi. There are over 40 projects from the Bitcoin ecosystem building with ICP tech at the moment. Last thing is the coding language. We have a very, very AI-friendly coding language. And again, I don't want to get into too much technical details, but we have something in our own coding language called orthogonal persistence, which just means that the data sticks to the code. And that's very important. If you think about the way AI would actually deploy applications and update applications in the future, you don't want AI to be doomed to deal with all of these different stacks and layers of a traditional IT system, right? You don't want an extra database. You don't want an extra front end. This is something I'm going to get back to in a minute. So, again, didn't want to get too technical, but this is the stack of a true world computer to build next generation web apps. And two things are in particular important when it comes to AI. And this is really what differentiates a true world computer AI from orchestration layer tasks, which is the AI-friendly coding language and the ability to have AI in a smart contract. Again, just to kind of visualize this a bit, so whenever you hear a claim of a blockchain to say something is built on, right? Built on Ethereum, built on Solana, whatever, it's not actually built on the blockchain, right? The only thing that is built on the blockchain is usually the backend operations that are moving tokens and states around, right? But when something is built on the internet computer, it really means everything from front to back end is built on the internet computer. Now, coming to AI, two hypotheses. Number one, and that might not surprise you, I think you probably heard that a lot over the past 6-7 months. In some cases, central AI will become a problem. The second hypothesis, and that's the main one where I'm super excited for, is AI will eat app stores and some software companies for breakfast. Let's dive into the first one. So, AI will obviously become a central part of our society. So there are like three, if you want to say, those three perspectives that you need to take in order to understand what is it actually that we need to solve for. Number one, for corporates, AI will become mission critical, which means you as a corporate really require a lot of security, compliance and ownership. The worst thing that can happen is that your AI model that is mission critical for your operation is going to stop. Or if I'm a hacker, right, the worst thing I can do is not anymore break into your database, and breach some data. The worst thing I can do is kind of mingle with your AI model and feed it false inputs so you get false outputs. The second perspective is for us as individuals. The future probably is already here, where most of us will use a private AI model, like to either enhance the way we work or to manage our day and to boost our productivity. So for us as individuals, privacy is super important, right? The second thing that we see in AI models for individuals is wealth management. So, and this is where the intersection of digital assets and AI really fits well, because you just connect your wallet to a wealth management application, and then it's taken care of you. But now there's a third dimension of it, and this is actually what do the AI models want, right? And there's this idea that if an AI model wants to be an economic participant, it needs to have access to payment rails. And the next idea of that is obviously then, if you want to have digital payment rails, then what better than a digital asset infrastructure? So, the problem today is already here, right? I mean, ChatGPT stopped yesterday or the day before yesterday for like 2 hours or so, right? So, and if you were depending on ChatGPT, you might have a problem. We have a risk of centralization of AI, right? And we've come from this Web3 data silo, Web2 data silo world, and the original promise of Web3 that all got us here was, hey, we're going to democratize the internet, right? We're going to demonopolize everything. But now with AI being by nature a very centralizing technology, I think it's even more important that we kind of use blockchain and Web3 technology to decentralize this again, because otherwise there will be a power concentration that I don't think is desirable for anyone. The third problem is that, and you might have seen that either if you were following the US elections or other things, that most of the AI models have a significant bias, right? And that bias can't be easily fixed. So, what we've built is a world's first R&D achievement, which is, again, AI running in a smart contract. So, AI that runs in a smart contract can build trustworthy AI services. It can be user-owned. You will be able to verify inputs and outputs. So, you reduce the the attack vector nearly entirely, because everything that runs in a smart contract, as Vitalik once says, is unstoppable, right? So cybersecurity threats for AI models running in a smart contract heavily reduced, 99%. The other thing is because it has a wallet and it lives on chain, and you all know the benefits of it, AI models can actually be monetized in a very fair way. Today, the internet computer ecosystem is one of the largest growing AI ecosystems. We have over 60 projects building across the entire AI value chain, from classic LLMs on-chain to using proof of unique humanity to counter all the issues that we will see with AI-generated content, with bot farming on airdrops and whatnot. Now, here comes the really exciting part. Today's process of creating web applications is very, very cumbersome, as you might know, right? If you're an individual, you need to learn a ton of things, right? Because the tech stack of web apps is very fragmented, right? You need to know about this coding languages, you need to know about database setup, you need to take care about cybersecurity and so on. If you're a small company, it's also very cumbersome because you need to start hiring a lot of people, right? You need to hire a lot of experts. And then obviously, if you're a corporate or government, you need to talk to a lot of people, right? Because all of these different responsibilities are spread across. Here comes the new paradigm. Because of the infrastructure that I described to you in the beginning, where we have a very AI-friendly coding language and we have AI-friendly smart contracts, and we have a full stack where everything, again, is deployed end-to-end, AI on the internet computer is able to deploy an app just by prompting, right? So you just prompt your idea on what app you want to have, and not only is the code generated, as you know already from ChatGPT or Llama, no, the thing is directly deployed. You get a URL back with your fully decentralized Web3 applications running on sovereign hardware, running in a decentralized way. And the best thing is, if you want to change it, you just prompt it and it changes automatically. This, by the way, is where that orthogonal persistence piece comes in, where data sticks to the code and just updates it. So this is going to rein in an entirely new paradigm for the way software is created, but in particular the way software is distributed, updated, and monetized. And this will significantly lower the barrier for people to come into Web3, right? Because also here, you can just make everyone, in theory, a coder. But even if you are a coder, you can use this as a very nice autopilot to just get things going. So, as said, you just have an idea, you put it in, a URL is returned back to you, and here is your fully fledged running Web3 application. This is really a new paradigm, which we hope also breaks down a bit the barrier between, what is Web 2 and what is Web 3, because this is a Web 2 kind of experience. And by the way, my personal point of view is anyways that ideally we shouldn't even be talking about Web 3 and Web 2. I mean, this is just the next evolution of the web, right? So, having said that, happy to take any questions if you want, but you're going to see what I talked about in maybe a few weeks, in a few months. So make sure to follow us on the social media accounts to get ready for the closed alpha that we're dropping. And with that, thank you for your attention.